No new breach at Mahaicony Sea and River Defense and NDIA clearing canals in West Bank communities. It's August 6. These and other stories in today's news. Ghana's first Prime Minister and first Executive President, Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham's contribution to national development was highlighted by His Excellency President David Granger. The head of state reminded of the late President Burnham's push to educate citizens at the commemorative service in honor of his 34th death anniversary at the Place of Heroes in the Botanical Gardens, Georgetown. The late executive president had served as Ghana's first education minister in 1953 and was elected premier in 1964.
And set about the task of laying the foundation for the evolvement of an education nation. He believed that public education was the cornerstone of social justice. He announced in a broadcast to the nation, and I quote, "Education is the cornerstone of equality and one of the chief instruments for the abolition of snobbery and the removal of discrimination."
President Granger recalled the late leader's determination to ensure that coastal and hinterland schools were on equal footing.
He believed that if the nation was to improve its citizens' quality of life, it had to provide them with a high quality of education. Forbes Burnham's first decade in office, 1964 to 74, was one of tremendous transformation in the public education system, making it more resilient and more relevant to the national situation at the time.
The head of state also noted Burnham's augmentation of overall attendance, school enrollment, and construction of new primary and secondary schools, including the first residential schools for indigenous children at St. Ignatius in the Ripanuni and Mabaruma in the Birima-Waini.
He entrenched free education as an entitlement in the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, which still mandates at Article 27 that, and I quote, "every citizen has the right to free education from nursery to university." We are encouraged by his example. We are inspired by his vision. We, his heirs and successors, recommit to perpetuating his legacy of free public education. Today we remember him with reverence and respect.
Ghana's first executive president, Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, OESC, was born in 1923 and died of heart failure in 1985 on August 6. Paul McAdam for InfoHub. There is no new breach of the Mahaicony Sea and River Defense as is being reported in some sections of the media. In fact, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure is continuing to carry out works to ensure there is not a reoccurrence and the previously breached embankment remains sealed. InfoHub took our cameras on location to get an update on the exercise.
The Ministry of Public Infrastructure has been working around the clock to improve the Mahaicony Sea defense in a bid to prevent further breaches like the one that occurred several weeks ago. The defense in the area had for some time been a combination of mangroves as a primary defense backed by earthen dams. Some of the mangroves have been lost to erosion and as such, MOPI has been working to fortify the defenses. Senior technician with the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Kenneth Hamer, explains more.
The work has been done currently to reinforce weak areas and to show up areas that are also being under threat. However, during the last springtime, which is over the weekend, a section of the temporary work at Prospect failed to some degree. Currently, the contractor is on site. He's correcting the situation there. The works are about 75% complete.
There were breaches along the defense twice for this year, one in Prospect back in February and another several weeks ago at Columbia. This prompted the ministry to conduct checks to identify potential weak points to be reinforced. From the Mahaicony Sea Defense with videographer Kareem Peters, I am Nkosi Bruce for InfoHub.
Residents and farmers in the West Bank Demerara communities of Canal Number 1 and 2 are benefiting from drainage and irrigation works being undertaken by the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority.
Extensive rainfall last Friday had led to some minor flash flooding in the Canal Number 1 area. Since then, the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority has initiated minor works to help with water runoff. George Gulliver, the contractor carrying out the works in both Canal Number 1 and Canal Number 2, shed some light on the current situation.
The Friday before, it was a rainy Friday. We had over 2 hours rain in the morning, and in the afternoon was the same. The water was a bit high, but the conservancy water was flowing over the dam into the into the drainage trenches, that we call it in the sideline. And the trenches there, they aren't built for so much water.
Unfortunately, the water in those farms have to travel some 7 miles to properly drain the land. So with these works, the rate of drainage would have increased considerably. However, despite their good intentions, Gulliver and his men have been facing their fair share of challenges with getting the work done.
In the trench, they throw a lot of garbage. If you go look right over there, look if you see a lot of zinc over in the trench right there. So but as far as like it's like something like a sabotage something, we trying to do our best because that we doing all the time. If you do observe something what's going on at the edges, them look how we get in the edges. Them very clean, parpet to parpet. But they just throwing the zinc and the woods them overboard like the obstacle for obstruct you from what you're doing. You know, that you can't get a good name on the work.
Despite these setbacks and interruptions, Patterson remains undaunted and is proud of his work. This exercise is expected to be finished within several days, but the runoff from the farms at the back of the canal may take some time due to the distance. From Canal Number 1 with videographer Kareem Peters, I am Nkosi Bruce for InfoHub.
The coalition government has indicated its position and the manner in which it is operating, which is in accordance with the Constitution of Guyana and also the ruling of the Caribbean Court of Justice. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honorable Basil Williams, SC, recently reiterated the government's position, noting that it has not breached the Constitution by staying in office until elections are held.
We are a law-abiding country, a law-abiding government. And no less a person than the President himself has always maintained that we will obey court orders, and we are obeying court orders. So it is erroneous to suggest that we are in breach of the Constitution, we are not resigning, etc.
The Attorney General was at the time speaking at an organized forum hosted by the Ghana Marriott Hotel and facilitated by the American Chamber of Commerce in Ghana, AmCham Guyana. As he delved into the subject, A.G. Williams said continued speculation and purposeful misinterpretation of the CCJ ruling is an insult.
It's insultive to the CCJ, the apex court, to actually disavow its ruling and apply all kinds of tendentious thoughts to what the people actually ruled.
During the Monday evening business discussion, Senior Counsel Williams again relayed that Ghana's constitution provides for an extension of time to host general and regional elections. Turning to business, he said it was also careless to continuously speak of a doomsday economy in Ghana, as the country is one of 5 fastest-growing economies in the world.
Ghana is the fastest growing of 5 fastest-growing countries in the world, our economy. And we are not saying as a government. You know who said that. And so all of this doomsday sayings and utterances that we have about our government, I don't know where it's coming from. But you cannot be the fastest growing economy in the world and you're saying that there's a downturn in our economy. All of the business that is being given out in connection with oil and gas, all that spending is impacting the economy. And therefore, it is fallacious to allege that there's a downturn in business.
Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Still to come, Education Minister says curriculum reform essential to continued development of the country. And cricket is back. West Indies and India clash in final T20 matchup. Details of these stories in a minute.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Thanks for staying with us. Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Nicolette Henry, says curriculum reform is an essential part of the push to further develop Ghana's educational system. The Education Minister was at the time sharing some insights into the various developments and aspects of the local education system during her appearance on a radio program.
We believe that education is a very important component of human development, and that the only way we can truly develop and invest in our people is through education. I was heartened to hear His Excellency speak about the possibility of free education as outlined in the Constitution from nursery to university. I look forward to the day when, as Minister of Education, I'll have an opportunity to once again be associated with free education from nursery to university.
The minister is optimistic that the delivery of education will continuously improve.
I would work assiduously with my team to ensure that access is not an issue, and that whether you live in the most remote part of Guyana or on the coastline, we will work to ensure that you have access to the best quality of education in Guyana, because we know and we recognize that the lives of our people will be tremendously impacted in a positive way if they have access to quality education.
Curriculum reforms, smart classrooms, early childhood programs, the reintegration of teen mothers into the school system, ICT-trained teachers, employment of specialist educators, and standardized training in modern techniques are just some of the measures being implemented by the Education Ministry to improve the sector. International cricket is back in Guyana and fans are ecstatic. Today, the West Indies took on India in their final T20 match.
International cricket is back in Guyana and cricket lovers are ecstatic about it. Today, West Indies took on India in the final T20 match.
I think it's a very good initiative, and Guyanese will actually get to view these games live and more exposure for our players too.
I feel it's good, yeah, because it's a possibility that I win this game, right? I'm looking good on Thursday.
I love it, buddy. They're my family. We don't miss cricket. We like cricket. Cricket is part of our culture in Guyana.
So far, I'm having fun.
This is cricket.
Enjoy yourself. Yeah, my winning team, right here. I think it is a good move. Yeah, I think it is good for the country and so on.
However, the home side lost the match after posting 146 runs in their 20 overs. Kieran Pollard led the team with 58 runs off 45 balls. Rishabh Pant with 65 and Virat Kohli's 59 runs saw the Indian team comfortably chasing down the total and winning the series 3-0. The one-day series will kick off at the same venue on August 8th. Reporting from the Guyana National Stadium in Providence, I am Isaiah Braffett with senior videographer Kwesi Wishart for InfoHub.
Before we close, here is your GCOM tip of the day. To know when house-to-house registration teams will be in your community, call telephone numbers 225-0277-9 or 223-9653. Remember to get registered. That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.